we are going to go through the organization unit that we are going to use for testing of model company and best practice scenarios of EWM provided by SAP in 1909 system. We will also go through the different structure elements that exist in a warehouse and the ones we are going to use for testing all our 1909 best practice processes. Let us first go through the data sheet. For our testing purpose, we will be using the model company code provided by SAP 1710. We will be creating our own plant, copying the model company provided plant by SAP, that is 1710, and our plant would be PL23. For testing purpose in this plant, we will be creating our own storage location W23B and W23S, which are receiving on dock and available for sale. We'll create our own warehouse W23 in ERP, and EWM it will be WH23. So we plan to create our own org structure data for warehousing purpose so that we can execute the same processes which SAP have configured in their model company for our own warehouse. The idea is later on, if required, we can carry out further changes into this warehouse based on the company or the customer's requirements. We'll be using shipping points 1710, 171C and 17R for our testing. Purchase organization 1710, sales organization 1710, purchasing group 002 is what we are going to use. In terms of distribution channel, it will be 10, division 00. For integrating the warehouse in EWM to a warehouse in ERP, we need to create plant as customer and plant as vendor. So we are going to create business partner BPWH23 for our testing. We'll also use this business partner as custodian and party entitled to dispose. In EWM, these two identifications are done at stock level, warehouse structure. So what you can see on your screen is a warehouse structure that we plan to use for our testing. This is the model company best practice warehouse that SAP has configured. We'll first try to understand it visually. What are the different areas and what are their relevance? We'll also go through each of this structure element in detail one by one. Let us first understand the overall structure. So we can start with the storage type Y910, which is inbound staging area. This is an area where all the incoming trucks and trailers will unload the products or pallets. From here, the parts will be then stored into the warehouse. Y820 is going to be our quality inspection center. So any inbound quality inspection we are going to carry out at storage type Y820. After unloading in the staging area, the quality inspection area, we would then place the products into the warehouse storage types. It can be Y041, which is a bulk storage A. Y042 is bulk storage B. We can store the parts into a mezzanine kind of a storage, which is Y021, or we can store it in a very densely aisle structure of narrow aisle storage. So if we are planning to store the products into the aisle storage, we would receive them via an intermediate storage type, which is Y001, which is called as handover point for narrow aisle storage. We also have storage type Y052 and 51. Y052 is going to be the picking area for bulk B. From Y042, we are going to replenish stock to the fixed bin stock in Y052. From the narrow aisle storage, we would be replenishing stock to Y051, which is the picking area for the narrow aisle storage. We have production supply area, which is going to be a storage type Y061. So during production staging, we would be supplying components from Y042, 41, 21, 52, 51. Y011 into the production supply area. After the production is completed, we would receive the finished product into storage type Y915, which is the receiving staging area for production receipt. After receiving the finished product, we would then store them into the bulk storage, or we may also store them into the narrow aisle storage. The finished products for outbound, we need to pick them and we would be taking them to a packing area, which is Y831. This is the packing area where the finished products are packed before they are sent to the customers. Y92 or 920 is the outbound staging area. After packing, the pallets would then be staged into the staging area, from where they will be loaded onto a truck or trailer, which will be at the doors. The doors are identified as storage type Y930. We also have storage types Y970, which is a clarification zone. In case there is a overflow of stock, if any of these storage types don't have capacity to store stock, the overflow stock will then be sent to clarification zone. Areas like Y860 is for storing all the block parts. So any parts which are damaged and which we plan to block it, we would be taking them to storage type Y860. Storage type 840 is for scrapping. Any product which is planned for scrapping will be taken to this storage type and then it will be eventually scrapped from system. Storage types. Here we can see the list of storage types that we will be using for our testing. Their description, the roles this storage type are created as, handling unit, storage requirement. For example, Y001 is created as a standard storage type. Here the handling unit is mandatory and the type of storage here is a general storage. In mezzanine, again a standard storage, but handling unit is not permitted in this area, and the bin is determined by a rule empty bin. So the next empty available bin is always determined when we are placing stock into the mezzanine storage. Several other storage types have their own roles, like Y061 is production supply, Y910 is work center and staging area group, Y930 is door. Highlighted here how the handling unit, what is going to be the handling unit behavior in this storage types. We have also highlighted how the put away is controlled in this storage type, either addition to stock, empty bin, or general storage area. Storage sections. Storage types are further divided into storage sections. For our warehouse, we have storage types Y0, 21, 51, and 11. They are divided into two storage sections, fast moving section and slow moving section. Okay. So here you can also find list of all the sections that are created in system. Y021 for example has storage section YS01 for fast moving, storage section YS02 for slow moving items. Storage type Y001 consists of 4 storage sections, but we do not plan to use storage section search in this area. Activity areas. Here we have listed all the activity areas that are created in the system. Most of the storage types have one-to-one assignment with the activity areas. So storage type, for example, Y021 has activity area Y021. We have special activity area grouping for bins in storage type Y011 and Y051 for the narrow aisle storage and the picking area for narrow aisle storage. Here all bins of picking area and the narrow aisle storage which belongs to aisle 1 are assigned to activity area YN01. All the bins belonging to aisle 2 of storage type Y051 and Y011 are grouped together into activity area YN02. All other bins which do not belong to aisle 1 or 2, they are from the storage type Y051 and Y011 are assigned to activity area Y00. Storage type Y051 and Y011, we have the bins assigned to activity area based on the aisles. Bin types and handling unit types. For our warehouse, we are going to use bin types YB01, YB02, YFX1, YMDF and YNGB. Which areas we are going to use these type of bins? For example, YB01 is used for bulk storage lane, which is a short lane, and you can find these type of bins in Y041 and Y042 storage type. For example, YMDF, these types of bins we find in storage type Y021, mezzanine area. You can also see what are the different types of pallets we are going to use. We are going to use a standard handling unit type. We are going to use a EWM pallet, which is a regular pallet, carton or boxes. Handling units created as carton boxes will have handling unit type YN02. We'll have EWM US pallet, which is again a special pallet created as YN03. We can also go through the bulk structure in storage type Y041 and 42. So bulk structure is required for storage types where we have bulk strategy. So Y041 and 42 are we have bulk strategy, and the products are kept idly on the floor in special lanes. They are stacked one behind the other and one above the other. Bulk structure, for example, in 41, if the bin type is YB01, short bulk storage lane, and if I'm getting a EWM pallet, standard EWM pallet, it may be stacked four pallets can be kept one behind the other and up to height of 1, and which comprises of maximum pallets of 4. This structure will be used. Product is having a bulk storage indicator Y1. Similar type of bin, similar type of pallet. If the product has a bulk storage indicator Y2, they will be stacked 4 and up to 2 high. That means pallets can be kept one above the other, and the maximum number of pallets we can store in such kind of bin with such kind of product, such kind of handling unit is 8. Doors and staging areas. So staging areas, we have one staging area each in Y910 and Y915 storage type. So both are for inbound. Y910 is for inbound of when we receive products from suppliers. Y915 is inbound staging area group when we receive products from production. Staging area group Y920, we have 3 staging areas. Okay, Y001, Y002 and Y003. Each of these staging area are created for separate doors. So for example, we have door YD01, for which we are going to use staging area Y001. We have a door YD02, for which we are going to have a dedicated staging area Y002. We have a door YD03, which for that we'll have a dedicated staging area Y003. Work centers. These are the work centers that are created in system. We can also see these work centers activities are going to be performed in which storage type. For example, packing work center Y831 is actually this packing activity is going to be carried out in storage type 831, and we are going to use work center Y831 for that purpose. For quality inspection, we are going to use YQSC as a work center, and the stock in quality work center will be part of Y820 storage type. Again, important point to note, in the outbound staging area, we have 3 work centers, Y921, 922 and Y923. These are dedicated work centers for each staging area, because we will have separate printers over there. We can do a separate packing in the staging areas. These are the different work centers that are created in the system. So these were all the feature elements that we are going to use for our testing. So before we start executing the processes in the system, let us list all the Fiori tiles that we are going to use for our testing. You can see on your screen, these are a list of all the Fiori tiles that are going to be used for all the processes that we are going to test the model company, the best practice processes of EWM in 1909. Make sure you add these Fiori tiles to your favorites, or you can group them together, or you can add them to your home page. By that way, it will be faster for you to execute your scenarios, and while executing, you don't have to go and search the theory tiles. Share the list with you. For example, warehouse monitor, display stock overview, create inbound deliveries, warehouse KPI, material document overview, and there are a few more, and there are some more as well. So get all these theory tiles at your home page. Let's now start configuration of this org structure units. Thank you.